Welcome to today's story. We enter a modern world testing how far souls have to travel to find one another. When we use humor to cope and those defenses finally break, how can we exist in the aftermath? Join Aria, a simple podcaster who uses humor as a defense, sarcasm as a non-confrontational weapon of choice, and Thorn, a soulmate strong enough to revitalize the innocence of laughter. Breaking down walls built to keep us safe can lead to gut-wrenching laughter and pure joy. So, as we dive into the topic of couples who find a sense of self in each other's sense of humor, please remember to click like if you enjoy your time spent with me, as this is my first story and I want to keep making more romantasy content in the future.
Chapter 1: The Summons. Arya's mic light glowed red, the faintest warning that thousands of people could now hear her procrastinating about soulmates. Welcome back to Wolf Down, your weekly reminder that the supernatural is mostly natural, and romance is mostly fiction. She tapped a pen against her notebook. Tonight, in honor of Valentine's Day, we're going to manifest our dream dates. Because apparently that's a thing now. Jared from marketing had insisted she lean into the manifestation trend. Arya had resisted until she found the prop to match the clickbait, a folded scrap of parchment tucked under a wet bus stop bench. It looked self-published by medieval Instagram. Curling ink, elaborate loops, a few suspicious smudges. She flipped the crinkled paper toward the camera streaming her live feed. Supposedly an ancient soulmate chant. You read it aloud. Light a candle. Your true mate finds you before midnight. You know, standard horror movie setup. Chat scrolled gleefully. Do it. What could go wrong? Summon the haughty. Arya smirked. Fine. But if my building ends up haunted, I'm haunting you all back. She cleared her throat and read, Imitation Dramatic. By Heart and Howl, by Moon and Thread, let the bound be unbound, and the lost be led. For half a second, she waited for the usual nothing. Then the mic hummed. A low electric buzz that prickled up her arms. Candle flames stuttered sideways. Every monitor blinked out, and the Wolf Down logo warped into a black and gold crest she'd never seen. Her engineer's voice cracked through the dark. Aria? You paying the power bill? She barely got out. It's fine. Just, When a pulse of light snapped the room open again. And he was there. Huge, wild. Absolutely not from marketing. The man stood inside her sound booth like the air itself had decided to sculpt a 6-foot-plus problem. Shoulders broad enough to block the door. Hair dark, half wet like he'd walked straight out of a storm. And those eyes, gold, faintly glowing under the emergency strobes. Her engineer whispered, That's method acting, right? The stranger's voice rolled out rough and formal. By blood and vow, I answer the call of the heart that spoke my name. Arya blinked. Okay, congratulations, you found the wrong podcast. He frowned at her mic. Is that a weapon? No, it's a microphone. Where did you even... Wait, how are you here? Instead of explaining, he took a half step forward, gaze fixed on her like gravity had opinions. You're the summoner, she laughed once, nervous and entirely unprepared. I'm the what now? No, nope. I'm the host. People summon DoorDash, not whatever you are. The engineer bolted, the studio door slammed behind him. Arya and the stranger stared at each other across the glowing console. The chat kept rolling, wild capital letters filling the dark screen. Are we watching a movie? Where did he come from? Marry him. Great, she muttered. I've turned my live stream into paranormal Tinder. He tilted his head as if trying to decode her language. You called me little one. I heard your voice, I came. And I'm suddenly regretting it, she said flatly, He ignored the sarcasm, gaze softening with something maddeningly sincere. I am Thorn of the Weaver's bloodline. Alpha King by birth, yours by bond. She gaped at him. You've got to be kidding. I do not kid, he said, scandalized. I vow. Of course he did. The mic light flickered back to red, feedback shrieking. She slammed the button to cut the feed, heart racing, mind a kaleidoscope of what just happened. When the silence finally landed, he was still watching her. Expression equal parts relief and disbelief. I'm not leaving, he said quietly. You're not staying, she shot back. He smiled, slow and certain. Oh, little one, yes, I am. Chapter 2. The alpha who wouldn't leave, silence stretched between them, thick enough to trip over. Arya's mic still hissed faint static from its near-death experience. Somewhere outside the booth, her runaway engineer was already phoning HR. Or an exorcist. Arya folded her arms. All right, cosplay king. The show's over. Doors that way. Please take your glowing eyes and medieval declarations somewhere with better lighting. Thorn didn't move. You could be harmed out there. Yeah. By my landlord, if you broke another light. He scanned the walls as if mapping exits for battle. This place hums. Too much current, too many eyes. That's electricity, she said. And security cameras. Eyes, he repeated more grimly, like he'd just diagnosed surveillance demons. Arya pinched the bridge of her nose. Fantastic. I've adopted a walking security threat. Before she could shove him toward the door, he crossed the tiny space with predatory smoothness, opening it for her. Then I will walk you home. It's 5 blocks. All the more chance for trouble. The argument lasted all the way onto the street. He ignored cabs, crosswalk signs, and the general rule against being absurdly gorgeous under flickering city lights. Do you even have ID? She asked. I have lineage. That won't get you through airport security. I do not travel by metal bird, he said seriously. She groaned. Of course you don't. By the time they reached her apartment building, she was half laughing, half disbelieving. He followed her up the narrow stairs, silent save for the faint creak of old wood and ancient pride. At her door, she hesitated. Okay. This is where you say goodbye. He looked at the lock as if daring it to test him. No. Thorn. I heard a storm building. She tilted her head. There's no... A low rumble of thunder rolled somewhere distant. She glared upward. You cannot manifest weather to win arguments. He actually smiled. Small, satisfied, infuriating. Then opened the door. We'll wait the storm together. She sighed, gave up, and pushed it open. Fine. Couch. No swords, no declarations, no staring at my appliances like they're plotting. He paused halfway inside, inspecting the space. Your den is small but well fortified. It's an apartment, not a fortress. He touched the edge of the couch cautiously, then sat like a general choosing a throne. It will do. Arya dropped her bag, shoved a hand through her hair, and muttered, Of course it will. Perfectly normal day. Summoned a werewolf king, fed him sarcasm, now we're roommates. He tilted his head. There are stranger vows. She snapped the hallway light off. Not in my lease. As the city hummed outside, she caught a glimpse of him in lamplight. Still, watchful, a silhouette that didn't belong in any human apartment. Yet somehow the couch seemed smaller without him on it. She turned away quickly. Good night, Thorn. From the shadows, a low rumble answered. Not thunder this time, but something that hummed down her spine like a promise. Good night, Arya.
Chapter 5. Collateral Spark. The day paparazzi found her address, Arya discovered 2 facts about Thorne. He hated cameras, and his patience had a 5-flash limit. By the 6th flash outside, he lifted a hand like he was swatting a fly, and her entire apartment went dark. "Thorne," she said flatly, blinking into pitch black. "What did you just do?" He sounded utterly calm. "I neutralized the attack." "You what?" "The eye lights outside. They were aimed at you." "Those were cameras, not photon grenades." He paused. "Cameras cause blindness." "You caused a blackout." "Welcome to total darkness." Something sizzled in the corner, her Wi-Fi router's dying gasp. Her laptop screen flickered, then joined the afterlife of electronics. "Thorne," she hissed, "you just assassinated my internet." He frowned faintly. "Was it alive?" "It streamed rom-coms. It was practically family." "Unfortunate casualty." "Unfortunate? You nuked my router like it was plotting treason." He tilted his head, visible only in the faint city glow sneaking through her curtains. "You are unharmed." "I'm also Wi-Fi-less." "That sounds survivable." "Not for me, it isn't." The candlelight interrogation. She lit a candle, its flicker spilling over his face. Even in the dim, he looked unfairly calm, like blowing up technology was part of his morning routine. "Do you zap things often?" she asked. "Or is this just a special occasion meltdown?" He studied the flame. "Only threats." "So, light bulbs and paparazzi?" They blinked aggressively. "God forbid a star twinkles wrong around you." He smiled slightly. "You are safe now." "I was safe before you fried civilization." Flirty crossfire. He stepped closer until that candle glow cut across his jaw. "You're angry," he murmured. "I'm rebooting my entire life. Of course I'm angry." "It suits you." She gave him a look. "Careful, your ego's showing." "It's uncontainable." "So's your voltage." "I'll learn restraint." "By when? Armageddon?" He grinned. "Sooner, if you supervise." The escape plan. She blew out the candle and swung her bag over her shoulder. "I'm done sitting in the dark with you and my dead modem. We're going out." He inclined his head, pleased. "To hunt?" "For caffeine." "Acceptable." "Rules, Thorne. No glowing, no zapping, no heroic gestures involving power grids." "I will behave." "Promise?" He smiled. "Absolutely not." Her groan followed them out the door. Chapter 6. Movie Stars Only Wish. By the time they hit the street, Arya's phone was still dead, her Wi-Fi still fried, and her patience at 1%. "Coffee," she muttered. "That's the goal. Caffeine, quiet, no witnesses." Thorne scanned the city lights like a general surveying enemy territory. "Your kingdom awaits." "It's a coffee shop, not Camelot." He nodded gravely. "Lead the charge." 2 blocks in, she realized Thorne wasn't following the cozy cafe glow, but a pulsing neon heartbeat from the hottest club in the city. "Wrong direction," she called. "Crowds offer cover," he said. "Crowds offer migraines." "They cannot ambush you there." "It's espresso, not espionage." But her argument was lost under bass and strobe lights. The grand entrance. The line outside wrapped around the block until Thorne stepped into view. Conversations died. Doors opened like they recognized a royal mandate. People parted. Arya blinked. "Okay, Now they think I'm dating a movie star. Please, Thorn chuckled. No movie star is that lucky. He held out his hand without taking his eyes off the habitual perimeter check. Arya easily placed her hand in his and felt a wave of his energy, proud, fierce, and truly believing his words. He gave her a sidelong look. They recognize authority. They recognize cheekbones, she teased. Also, stop parting people like the Red Sea. There is nothing biblical about this place. I am? Yes. He smiled faintly. How would you like me to command, then? Beast with boundaries? Try less king, more movie star. You can be my method actor boyfriend, she said sweetly. He led her gracefully into the packed nightclub, and yes, he parted the crowds. For her. The club's heat wrapped around them, music crashing like thunder. Drinks, perfume, and too much cologne swirled through the air. Thorn stiffened instantly. This place smells of sin. It smells of sweat and lowered expectations. That's worse, right? A group of guys at the bar gave Arya a look that landed somewhere between tipsy admiration and unwashed enthusiasm. Thorn moved, fast, silent, deadly polite. Just a single step forward, enough for every one of them to suddenly become fascinated with their drinks. Arya rolled her eyes, but couldn't hide the smile tugging her mouth. Relax, they're harmless. They smelled like Fireball in desperation. Point taken. Damage control, again. A woman nearby leaned over, squinting at Thorn. Oh my God, he is in that new superhero movie? Arya grinned with the speed of survival. Method actor. Stays in character. Don't make eye contact, or he monologues. The woman gasped. Like Heath. That's commitment. Yeah, Arya muttered. You have no idea. Exit plan. She snagged his arm. Come on, Dark Knight of Overkill. We're finding coffee before you end someone's nightlife. He allowed himself to be pulled toward the door, eyes still scanning the crowd. None approach you now. That's because you look one glare away from declaring martial law. Effective, isn't it? She sighed, infuriatingly. Chapter 7. Let the walls crumble. They didn't make it 3 steps out of the club before the shrieking started. Phones, flashes, and posters waited at the curb, crowd buzzing like bees around spilled champagne. If Arya's 01 worked, she would know that the paparazzi stunt had morphed into a Hottie King location finder app with membership reaching hundreds since they entered the club. Signs bobbed over heads, "I'll be your soulmate," and, tragically, "Bite me." Arya blinked hard. Oh, good. We've entered a cult. Thorn frowned at the nearest poster. Why are they requesting branding? Welcome to fandom, big guy. He glanced around. It is loud. It's your royal personality. Should I roar back? No, God, don't interact. A paparazzo leaned too close with a camera flash like miniature lightning. Thorn's hand twitched. Arya thought she saw it coming. Another EPTPR nightmare. She realized about a millisecond too late. Reality cracked. The air folded, sound vanished, and the next breath tasted like espresso instead of adrenaline. They stood in a quiet corner of a downtown coffee shop, steam curling around them, jazz humming somewhere in the background. Everyone else froze mid-latte, blinking in mild confusion before deciding to ignore whatever just happened. Arya clutched her chest. Did we just teleport through civilization? Portal, he corrected calmly. Down the street, brushing off invisible debris. You portaled us into a Starruts? You said coffee was non-negotiable and asked me not to project alpha force, enough to explode things. She stared at him, wide-eyed and halfway between outrage and awe. What other powers do you have? He pretended to think. Precision, strength, restraint, devastating charm. She gaped. Restraint? You just kidnapped me through space. Not kidnap, that was with consent implied. Implied by who? They found a booth. The barista, deciding not to ask questions, slid 2 drinks toward them and retreated. He smiled. The implied was you, denying my protection from the cameras. The consent was from me, because I have every right to protect you when required. Arya finally exhaled, fingers wrapped around the warm mug. Okay, real conversation time. No zapping, no projecting, no royal edicts. Just talk. He leaned forward. Very well. What shall we discuss? Why you're apparently allergic to technology and personal space. His mouth curved slightly. Because worlds shape habits. In mine, both can kill you. And here you feel pretty safe. Her humor was reflex, but he caught the first flicker beneath it. You use humor as armor, he said quietly. She froze. Wow, psychoanalyze me faster next time. It is not criticism. It protects you, but you also lower it. Only when I'm cornered by a glowing demigod who... He leaned in quick and froze inches away from Arya's mouth. She froze, waiting for his kiss. You lower it when you trust. I will never betray that trust. You are safe with me, little one. That landed. Deep, uncomfortably honest. She looked down, fidgeting with her cup sleeve. You notice everything, don't you? I notice you. And that is everything. Chapter 8. Unwanted Spam. She was starting to trust him. As irrational and unperceptive, not seeing her obvious flaws, she was wrapping her head around everything. When, bzz bzz, Thorne removed a cell phone from his pocket. Since when do you have cell service? And who is messaging you? She paused at the jealous inflict of her voice. Thorne's face hardened. He placed the phone on the table in front of Arya so she could read it. Your Majesty, Notice Council voted in favor. Kingdom will fall unless weavers can retrieve the king. They begin once all converge to sacred dais. Arya read and reread. Translation? The mage elders are gathering to invoke ancient ritual spells to bring me back. Oh, well, that's a good thing, is it not? No. No, that is not consent implied. That is against my will. That is the exact definition of kidnap. I heard your call and followed the god's path to you. I will not go back. Okay, well, let's just head back to my place and talk more there. I'm pretty sure that couple over there are live streaming us. Back at Arya's apartment, Thorne slumped onto the couch. Arya didn't know he was capable of such unnoble posture. Okay, so what are you going to do? Do you know when? How? How much? How long? At the words, how long, he dove for Arya's chest. Arms around her frame, head reverent over her heart. I won't leave you. I only just found you. You don't even understand what the bond is yet. I cannot leave you. Not ever. Arya ran her fingers through his hair. The idea had came to her about 90 seconds after meeting him. Now he was holding her in such a way, one arm was in his embrace, and her one free arm had nowhere else to go. There. Arya tried comforting this marshmallow carved of granite and divine presence. You don't really want to give up your kingdom.
Yes, I do. I am. But the destruction part, no guilt. The kingdom is a mountain. It can crumble or shift. It will never fall. So you build mountains.
Well, that explains the biceps.
And I do not require the power of the king. As you said, it's overkill here.
Wait, what?
Your Alpha King power goes away. When I am no longer king, I will not hold that force.
Oh, no. Do you even know if you would survive that? You are a marshmallow of marble right now, but if you lose the marble, you okay with being a marshmallow?
Arya, I will always protect you. Alpha power can never fade. I will not stop being an alpha shifter.
Translation again?
Alpha King power is Hurricane 5. Alpha power is Storm with powerful lightning advisory.
Storm is plenty, considering humans can mostly blow out a couple of birthday candles on their best day.
Pft, from Arya's lips, has Thorn looking eye to eye with her now. He had followed her lead. Let witty humor guide their conversation. But now that she had let the walls crumble, she knew she did not want him to go either. She wanted to ask how long they had. But the need, the honesty, and, God, his soul. Arya learned the small distance between them and kissed. If he could call her out on using humor to defend, what was he going to say about this? Thorn took the use of his mate bond electric hum and her mouth finally unable to talk, to pour his feelings into her. His soul's reassurance that she was his heaven and he was hers. And if she wasn't ready to feel that yet, he thought with pure primal delight, there are plenty of other ways to make her feel heaven. He kissed her jaw, her ear, her neck. Grrr, Arya gasped as he let the vibration enter her clavicle and spread through her body.
Did you just growl? You said growling wasn't a part of human courtship.
But it's in my nature. Oh my fuck, Thorn, I want you.
Growling is definitely in.
Growl. Oh my. Morning light streaks through blinds. No big fade to black cutaway, just the echo of laughter still lingering from the night before, a tangle of clothes, and the merge of two.
Okay, I got one. Thorn laughing soulmates. The only thing the universe got right on the first try. Everything else is beta.
Arya holds her guts from metaphorically falling out of her abdomen. Okay, last one. Soulmates. Proof that love can be perfect. Everything else, proof that natural selection took a long lunch break. One moment, the two were dressing after the unforgiving hunger pains demanded food. The next, he had her pinned against the counter. The next, he'd saved her humanity, and she was screaming his name like scripture. Breakfast was interrupted when Thorn hurled the traitorous pancakes skyward before it combusted on the stove. "The poor thing's still smoldering in the sink," she announced. Finally catches her breath enough to laugh. Thorn slipped back into his shirt, newly minted domestic god and ancient alpha all at once. "You can't laugh and breathe, my love. Choose one." "Oh, Thorn, you misunderstood the sparks I was seeing." "Congratulations." "It cannot get any hotter in here, even with actual flames." They're both grinning, warmth humming between them. Purposeful humor. No defense, no deflection. Chapter 9. The End. The intimacy has made them almost casual. Her teasing keeps him grounded, his charm keeps her steady. It's the lightest they've ever felt. She's still watching him button his shirt, admiring the living contrast. The man who just promised her forever who still looks like a walking thunderstorm. She bites her lip. So this is who I am, when free from all the bullshit. Then she notices it. Faint gold veins pulsing under his skin, dancing with each heartbeat, glowing brighter than sunlight. Thorn, she says, half smile, half question. Is it normal for you to glow? The air tightens. His smile falters, only a little. Depends. Depends on what? Define normal. His rumble stayed steady, gold haze rippling at his edges. Radioactive glitching. No, not normal. The room bucked like a live thing, walls groaning deep, picture frames crashing down in splintered wood and glass. A teacup tumbled from the counter, shattering at her feet in a spray of porcelain shards. Arya stumbled back, tears hot on her cheeks, their souls dodging the glittering hazard. Thorn's form ebbed into blinding gold light, particles swirling upward like ash in wind, then nothing. Just empty air where he stood. Look out! His voice cut through the void. Don't step in the glass. You could cut yourself. Her heart clenched, certainty flooding. Soulmate. No logic, just bone-deep truth. She leaped into the fading glow, arms locking around his dissolving neck, pulling him close for one final, desperate embrace. The return flash. Blaring trumpets pierced the air. Drums thundered like war. Voices boomed through unseen stone halls. The king has returned. Thorn's arms crushed her to his chest. Her body crumpled across his kneeling lap on cold flagstone. Face smashed against velvet and muscle. She breathed only him. Sweat, storm, home. His grip pinned her utterly, fingers tangled in her hair. Thorn? Her voice muffled. Yes, little one. Gravel soft, reverent. She pushed against his hold, testing. He went statue still, every muscle locked. Terrified this moment might vanish, the last he'd touch her. She twisted, glimpsing blurred banners, armored guards kneeling distant. Thorn, they're calling your name. She stilled in his arms. Aren't you supposed to be waving? No. Why not? I'm busy. Busy with what? Thank you for not letting go, little one. His lips brushed her forehead. Once, twice, fierce and tender. I love you. I love you too, Thorn. I love you so much. But do you ever stop moving? His iron bands loosened, just a fraction. Gold light pulsed steady at their joined skin, kingdom roar fading behind his heartbeat. Hers, solid, forever. The end. Epilogue. The throne room was silent, but for the faint hum of her equipment. Between marble pillars and the sprawling banners of Thorn's crest, a single microphone gleamed like a crown jewel. I still don't understand why we're doing this in full regalia, Thorn muttered, straightening the heavy collar of his jacket. Authenticity, Arya said, testing the levels. Listeners love a dramatic soundscape. And besides, my hobbies didn't vanish when I became queen. Most queens take up falconry. You took up broadcasting your thoughts to millions of strangers. Exactly. It's cheaper and doesn't poop on the drapes. Thorn's laugh echoed off the gold-inlaid walls. What's today's topic, then? Royal scandals? Summoning etiquette? How to handle an overconfident soulmate? Tempting, she said, but I was thinking, love across realms, A cautionary success story. Cautionary? He stepped closer, the corner of his mouth lifting. You summoned me. I'm the happy ending. Arya hit record. Listener's note. He says this after destroying 3 temples, evaporating my ceiling, and forgetting what a fork is. In my defense, Thorn said smoothly, the fork looked menacing. You're menacing. And yet, he murmured, dropping his voice, you still chose me. Arya tried to hide her smile behind the mic. Purely for research. I wanted accurate soulmate data. Then your findings should be peer-reviewed, he said, kissing her shoulder. Her laugh softened into something warmer. Fine. 1 peer agrees you're statistically impossible. He touched her chin, eyes steady on hers. And yet, undeniably real. The on-air sigil dimmed to gold. For a moment, the kingdom outside stilled, listening to the quiet rhythm of 2 voices that always seemed to find each other across time, worlds, and now, waves. That's a wrap, Arya whispered, saving the file under episode 108, Soulmates Still Arguing. Thorn smiled. You realize the scholars will play this in history lectures someday. Good, she said. Let them learn about love the loud way. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed my very first creation. Many more to come.